In this video I head off to an area of local woodland known as Bickerton Hill. Now this is a National Trust woodland and it's only about 25 minutes or so from my house, so pretty local. Now the forecast was very blustery and windy, and also a fair amount of rain was predicted, which turned out to be the case. Unfortunately I did get wet, and also I spent a considerable amount of time in the car sheltering from that rain.
Bored.
But I did get some pictures I was really pleased with, and that's the whole point of going out. I'll select the favourite image of mine and put it up at the end of the video, and also show you some of the basic editing I applied to this image. Not a great deal, that's not the purpose of this vlog. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this trip, and it just goes to show that persistence does pay.
So, Bickerton Hill. Not been here for probably about 6, 7 years. Usually ignore it and go to nearby Bickerton Hill, but some lovely autumnal colours this morning. Righto, I've got a good start here. I've managed to get a nice view over towards North Wales. I'm on the top of an old hill fort, or near enough a hill fort, and I've got a superb outlook. It's a little bit drizzly though, so I've had to put the lens hood onto the long lens I put onto my Bronica, and that's just keeping the drizzle and spray off it. Set it to f11, focus to infinity, just taking a nice tight crop in with the short telephoto. I think this is going to work really well. Well, my timing couldn't have been better. As soon as I pressed the shutter and taken the second image, it started throwing it down. So that's one of the advantages of just getting the shot first before you start talking about it. Fantastic, managed to get what I want, pack the camera away and just wait for this to pass. Well, not just here to shoot the long shots. I've spotted this beautiful little group of fungi growing on an old tree stump, and the colours are superb. My standard focal length, 80mm, allows me to focus pretty close, so I've gone in as close as I can get, stopped it down to f22 and taken a couple of frames. I think these look really nice in the square format. Well, rain has stopped play for the moment. It's absolutely chucking it down, so I'm sheltering under a very conveniently located oak tree while it passes. On a positive note though, it's got rid of all the dog walkers and joggers, so yeah, not all bad. Now the rain stopped, I've managed to set up. I'm just keeping my eye open though, because there is a heavy shower coming in. And I've set up with my 85mm equivalent lens, which is 150mm on the Bronica. And I'm cropping in on the trees behind me. I had to wait though for the sun to go in because the backlit, and it was too dazzling and there was absolutely no colour in it whatsoever. As it is, the colour is still subtle, but it's really very nice. Right, chucking it down again. But I will carry on. Head off to some more trees. Hope it gives up. Hope we get a bit of blue sky. Just keep going. Okay, so it's hailing now. Hailstones are coming down thick and fast. So I've had to take some shelter in the woods just while it passes. No chance of taking a picture in this at all. Well, I've done the right thing and beaten a hasty retreat back to the car, but unfortunately I'm low on snacks. I do have a big flask of coffee, but I don't know whether to sit it out here for another half hour or so, because it does look like it's going to clear, and you know what happens when the rain passes over. On a front, you very often get some beautiful broken blue skies and clouds coming in. So 20 past 10, I'm going to stick it out. Right, I'm back out. I'm going to get those last shots. It's cleared up beautifully. Right, I'm not far from the car and I have a reasonable composition, wide angle lens, taking in the copse of trees behind me. I've set it to about f11, no problems with depth of field. It is actually raining again though, so I'm just pausing between shots. I'm hoping the sun's coming out, so I'm going to take it now. Okay, I did get a shot. I'm not sure how good it is, it's all a bit rushed. It was also the last frame on my roll of film, but I'm going to load another roll in actually, because even though it's chucking it down again, it's breaking up and you get those wonderful patches of light coming through. And with all this rain, it just glistens so much. Well, there's a ton more rain coming in and I am going to get soaked, but I've probably got, I don't know, about 10 minutes before it hits, and there's some nice light round here. Actually getting a bit of mist rising. I'm going to try and get another shot in. Well, I've just had to snap this one really quickly because the sun is in and out the clouds. Didn't have time to talk you through, but now I've got a couple of frames in the bag. I'll explain what I'm doing. Got my wide angle lens on, set to f16. I've got the sun in the background. f16 is going to give me a little bit of a starburst, hopefully. Can't really tell. And the trees are backlit. They've got water running off them. It looks fantastic. Well, there's another huge bank of rain now sweeping in behind me from the Welsh Hills, and that is going to catch me in about 5-10 minutes, so I'm going to wrap it up here. I've really enjoyed this. It was a bit of a challenge at times, but just shows you that persistence pays. Okay, so this is the basic unedited image straight from the scanner. In Lightroom, the first thing I'm going to do is just drop into develop, obviously, and provide a quick crop. Now I want this to be a pure 1:1 ratio, so I'm just going to take out a little bit of the border, the film rebate which the scanner caught. There we go. Now the next thing, quite straightforward again, is just to give a little bit of a bump to the contrast. I made the scan quite low contrast so I could capture all the range of tones. So I'm just going to increase the contrast, not too much, because I want to actually have a very light and gentle feel to this image. That's about right. Stick on a little bit of a grad, and in that grad I'm just going to bring down the, see where they are, bring down the highlights slightly in the top of the screen, not much again. Okay, just increase that transition slightly there. Okay, quite happy with that. Now the rest of the adjustment is going to be local, so I'm going to be doing the typical sort of dodging and burning. Now something I'm going to do, because I'm making this into a print, is to take it in a round trip to Photoshop, and I use Photoshop primarily for output sharpening and doing minor adjustments to the image, which are tricky to do in Lightroom. I don't tend to be a big Photoshop user. I don't use layers and masks and all those other things. I keep my editing quite simple. So open this up. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the output sharpener. And output sharpening allows me to set the detail level and the sharpness for my particular printer. Now I need to change the setting over here on the right to inkjet. Viewing distance, the typical distance you want to view it from, typically for me about 1 meter's average. I'm going to use a matte paper, and my printer's resolution is, I think it's 28.8 by 1440. Okay, now this is what the image looks like. It looks very heavily sharpened and pixelated on this particular screen, but when I get back in Lightroom and make a print, it'll look absolutely fine. So I'll say OK to that. So, just as they say on the best TV programmes, here's one I prepared earlier. This is the image I've actually spent probably about 20 minutes working on. Done quite a bit of tweaking in terms of the local contrast, the highlights and shadows, burning in certain areas and highlighting others like these leaves here to have a bit of more contrast. But really it's quite a straightforward image. It's not heavily processed. If I zoom in at 100%, you can see it looks pretty sharp. I mean, it does look a little bit artificial, but this is a print output, remember. This is not going to be how I would normally view it on screen. But as you can see, there is plenty of detail there in the image itself. So let's get this sent to the printer.
So this is the final image. A3 print, nice matte paper, plenty of detail in there. I really like this. And I hope you enjoyed this video too. I'll see you on the next trip.